From my grandfather Verus I learned good morals and the government of my temper. From the reputation and remembrance of my father, modesty and a manly character. From my mother, piety and beneficence, and abstinence, not only from evil deeds, but even from evil thoughts, and further, simplicity in my way of living, far removed from the habits of the rich. From my governor I learned endurance of labor and to want little, and to work with my own hands, and not to meddle with other people's affairs, and not to be ready to listen to slander. From Diognetus, not to busy myself about trifling things, and not to give credit to what was said by miracle workers about the driving away of demons and such things, and to endure freedom of speech. From Rusticus I received the impression that my character required improvement and discipline, and from him I learned not to show myself off as a man who practices much discipline, or does benevolent acts in order to make a display, and to write my letters with simplicity, and with respect to those who have offended me by words, or done me wrong, to be easily disposed to be pacified as soon as they have shown a readiness to be reconciled, to read carefully, and not to be satisfied with a superficial understanding of a book, nor hastily to give my assent to those who talk too much. From Apollonius I learned freedom of will, and undeviating steadiness of purpose, and to look to nothing else, not even for a moment, except to reason, and from him I learned how to receive from friends what are esteemed favors, without being either humbled by them or letting them pass unnoticed. From Alexander the grammarian, to refrain from fault-finding, and not to chide those who utter barbarous or strange-sounding expressions, but dexterously to introduce the very expression which ought to have been used. From Fronto I learned to observe what envy, duplicity, and hypocrisy are in a tyrant, and that generally those among us who are called patricians are rather deficient in paternal affection. From my brother Severus, to love my kin, and to love truth, and to love justice, and from him I received the idea of a society in which there is the same law for all, a society administered with regard to equal rights and equal freedom of speech, and the idea of a kingly government which respects most of all the freedom of the governed. I learned from him also consistency and undeviating steadiness in my regard for philosophy, and a disposition to do good, to give to others readily, and to cherish good hopes, and to believe that I am loved by my friends, and in him I observed no concealment of his opinions with respect to those whom he condemned, and that his friends had no need to question what he wished or did not wish, for it was quite plain. I thanked the gods for giving me such a brother, who was able by his moral character to rouse me to vigilance over myself, and who, at the same time, pleased me by his respect and affection, that, whenever I wished to help any man in his need, or on any other occasion, I was never told that I had not the means of doing it. To the gods I am indebted for having good grandfathers, good parents, a good sister, good teachers, good associates, good kinsmen and friends, nearly everything good. In my father I observed mildness of temper, an unchangeable resolution in the things which he had determined after due deliberation, and no undue pride in those things which men call honors, and a love of labor and perseverance, and a readiness to listen to those who had anything to propose for the common weal, and to check immediately popular applause and all flattery. Besides this, he honored those who were true philosophers, and he did not reproach those who pretended to be philosophers, nor yet was he easily led by them. He was also easy in conversation, and he made himself agreeable without any offensive affectation. He took a reasonable care of his body's health, not as one who was greatly attached to life, nor out of regard to personal appearance, nor yet in a careless way, so that, through his own attention, he very seldom stood in need of the physician's art or of medicine. He was most ready to give way without envy to those who possessed any particular faculty, and he gave them his help, that each might enjoy reputation according to his deserts. He was not curious about what he ate, nor about the texture and color of his clothes, nor the beauty of his slaves. There was in him nothing harsh, nor implacable, nor violent, but he examined all things civilly, as if he had abundance of time, and without confusion, in an orderly way, vigorously and consistently. And it might be said of him that which is ascribed to Socrates, that he was able both to abstain from, and to enjoy, those things which many are too weak to enjoy without excess. For to be strong enough both to bear the one and to be sober in the other is the mark of a man who has a perfect and invincible soul.